Welcome to this Forest Park New Media screencast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the GarageBand program, and we're going to specifically talk about how to trim audio. So here I am already loaded into my GarageBand project file. Looking at some audio here, I've got some voice narration, I've got some music playing behind it, and I want to look at, I'm going to actually mute the music for now by clicking mute on my jingles track. I want to look at this voice piece here and listen to it and see if there's anything that I want to trim down to that, and we'll talk more about that later. I'm going to take off that little part at the end where I say we'll talk more about that later. For whatever reason, I just don't like that. You might also notice too on my screen I've got my edit area open here at the bottom. The edit area, or the as GarageBand refers to it, the track editor, is this little scissors icon down here in the bottom area. So I'm going to turn that on so I can kind of see a little blown up view of the track down below. So I want to listen to this and figure out exactly where I want to trim the audio into that, and we'll talk more about that later. Okay, I want to take out this part that says and we'll talk more about that later. So let's see some pictures into that, and we'll talk more. So it looks like I want to trim this audio. I want to take out this last section of sound wave here. So what I do to do that is I bring my cursor up to the track area, and you want to be careful when you click to select a specific piece of audio. If you click on the track area over here, on the master track area, you'll notice that it highlights all the pieces. So now if I go and try to trim, watch what happens to the other audio pieces. They all shrink or expand as well. So you want to be careful not to do that. So I'm going to actually select off of there. I'm going to undo by going to edit, undo. So it takes that little mistake that I made out. To get one specific piece of audio selected, I usually click off of there. I click in an open area, and then I click on the one piece. So notice that this one piece is the colored piece now, and now I can play with this. So we said I wanted to trim back to about here. To trim, you move your cursor to the edge of the audio piece, and you'll get one of two icons. You'll get this icon if you put your cursor kind of in the lower region of the track. This is the trim icon. If you put it in the upper area, it becomes the loop icon, and you can watch the other screencast I have out there about looping. So I'm going to bring the cursor here. I want the trimming icon to appear. I'm actually going to zoom out so I can see my big window at the bottom of the screen too. And I'm going to trim backwards, and notice I'm going to trim back to right about there. Okay, so now I've taken out that piece. Let's see how this sounds. I'm going to use my playhead. I have time throwing some pictures into that. Okay, I want to take that little gasp of breath out, so I'm going to trim back a little more just to the edge of that big sound wave. Let's see how this sounds. And maybe if we have time, throwing some pictures into that. Okay, perfect. So now this is my little ending piece where I thank people for watching. I'm going to zoom in so I can, sometimes you can't get your cursor on. If you put your cursor on an audio piece, if it's a small clip, you'll just keep getting the track, or the trimming icon. So I want to be able to get my arrow in the middle there. So I'm going to slide this over and butt this up to the other one. And let's see how this sounds. Some pictures into that. Thanks so much for listening. Okay, perfect. It ended. I was able to trim back and show that and go right into the ending. There are other ways to edit audio. I'll show you how to split an audio track in another screencast. But for now, thanks for watching.